All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever noticed how some movies just stick with you?
Oh, absolutely. Some films just have that staying power, you know?
I'm talking about movies that offer more than just entertainment. Films with lines that resonate long after the credits roll.
You're talking about those movies that make you think, the ones that stay relevant no matter how much time passes.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into one of those films, The Godfather Part II.
Oh, a classic. Filled with so much wisdom about power, loyalty, family, and betrayal. It's amazing how a film set in the world of organized crime can offer such profound insights into the human condition.
And it's those insights, those iconic lines that we're going to unpack today. We're going to explore 5 quotes from The Godfather Part II and uncover their surprising relevance to our modern lives.
We'll see how these quotes offer timeless wisdom for navigating relationships, work, and even personal growth.
So first up, let's tackle this famous line. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It's a bit of a paradox, wouldn't you say? I mean, why would you want to keep your enemies close?
Yeah, it definitely sounds counterintuitive at first. But think about it this way. If you keep your enemies at arm's length, you really don't know what they're up to, what they're thinking or planning.
You're in the dark about their motives, their strategies. It's like fighting a shadow.
Right. But by understanding your adversaries, by keeping them close in a sense, you gain valuable insights into their weaknesses, their strengths, and even their potential moves.
So it's about turning a potential threat into a strategic advantage. It's about gathering intel, almost like in a game of chess.
Exactly. It's like knowing your opponent's next move before they even make it. And this applies to so many areas of life, not just to the world of the Corleones.
So we're not talking about literally befriending your enemies.
No, not necessarily. It's more about understanding their perspective, their motivations, their goals, even if you disagree with them.
Because that understanding gives you an edge. And
Mhm.
this isn't just about big, dramatic rivalries. Think about everyday
Oh,
situations.
absolutely. Like, say you're in a tough negotiation at work,
Or you're dealing with a difficult coworker.
or even navigating those sometimes tricky family dynamics we all experience. Understanding where they're coming from, their perspective, can be so helpful.
It can help you anticipate problems, avoid conflicts, and even find common ground. It's about turning a potential disadvantage into an opportunity.
Right. It's about turning conflict into a learning experience.
Okay, let's move on to a quote that's a bit more emotionally charged. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. Now, this line cuts deep. It speaks to the pain of betrayal, the shattering of trust, especially from someone close to you.
It really does, and it's something that most of us, unfortunately, can relate to on some level. Betrayal is a universal experience, and it can be incredibly painful.
Especially when it comes from someone you love and trust, someone you thought had your back.
Right. It shakes your foundation, makes you question your judgment, your ability to read people. It can leave you feeling vulnerable and heartbroken, like Michael Corleone.
And it makes you wonder, how do you move on from that?
Ah.
How do you learn to trust again after such a deep betrayal?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Because you don't want to become cynical and closed off to the world, but you also need to protect yourself from future hurt.
It's about finding that balance, right? Between guarding your heart and staying open to genuine connections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about learning from the experience, recognizing the red flags, setting healthy boundaries, and choosing to move forward.
So it's not about letting betrayal define you, but using it to grow stronger and wiser.
Absolutely. It's about resilience.
Okay, now for a quote that's a bit colder, more calculating. It's not personal, Tom. It's strictly business. This line really embodies that ruthless, pragmatic approach that's often associated with the business world.
It's that idea of separating emotions from decisions, of making tough choices based on logic and strategy rather than personal feelings.
Is that always possible, though? Or even healthy? I mean, we're human beings, not robots. We have feelings, and they inevitably influence our decisions.
You're right, and I think that's where the tension lies. It's about finding that sweet spot, that balance between being strategic and being empathetic.
So it's not about being heartless or completely suppressing your emotions.
No, it's about recognizing that emotions can sometimes cloud your judgment, especially in high-stakes situations where clear thinking is essential.
Like in a big negotiation or when making a difficult decision that affects a lot of people.
Exactly. In those moments, it's helpful to step back, detach a bit emotionally, and assess the situation objectively. But that doesn't mean ignoring the human element completely.
It's about making informed choices while still acknowledging the impact those choices have on others. Like you said, finding that balance.
It's about being both effective and compassionate.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and look at a quote that speaks to legacy and the passing down of wisdom. My father taught me many things here. He taught me in this room. He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It's interesting how that lesson, that advice, takes on a whole new dimension coming from a father figure.
It really does. It speaks to the power of inherited wisdom, the traditions and values that are passed down through generations, and how those lessons often come with a sense of history, of connection to something larger than ourselves.
It's like the setting, the in this room part of the quote,
Yeah.
adds weight and significance to the words.
Absolutely. And I think it also highlights the importance of critically examining those inherited beliefs. What worked for our parents, our mentors, may not always work for us in our own
It's
lives.
about taking that wisdom and adapting it to our own circumstances, our own challenges.
Exactly. It's about learning from the past, but not being bound by it.
And finally, let's unpack this quote. This is the business we've chosen. There's a sense of resignation in those words, but also a deep sense of ownership.
There is. It's about acknowledging the consequences of our choices, even the ones we may regret, and taking responsibility for those consequences, for the path we've chosen.
It's about owning it, right? Whether it's a career path, a relationship, a life decision, even if it's not what we initially envisioned or hoped for.
It's about accepting the reality of the situation and choosing to move forward. Because even though we may not have chosen all of our circumstances, we do have the power to choose how we respond to them.
We have the power to choose our attitude, our actions, our approach,
It's about focusing on what we can control.
and that can be incredibly empowering. So there you have it, 5 iconic quotes from The Godfather Part II that offer timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of life, work, and relationships. It's a reminder that even though the film is set in a very specific world, the themes of power, loyalty, betrayal, and choice resonate with us all.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what business we've chosen, we're all striving to make the best choices we can, to navigate the challenges that life throws our way, and to find meaning and purpose in our own stories.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into The Godfather Part II, be sure to subscribe to AI Movie Podcast for more fascinating explorations into the world of cinema. We'll see you next time.